Good morning, you lovely lot. So thank you for joining us in that 2-minute silence. It's always good to remember. You are now joining us on Colour Me Happy. So welcome on this lovely Sunday morning. We've got a really great hour planned and it's some of my favourite things, and I can't wait to see what our Corinne's got planned with them, because it's going to be amazing. We're going to start off with, remember, although our shows are changing on the weekends and we've got this hour long, we are still fully interactive. So if you want to ask us any questions, let us know and I will pass them across to our Corinne. But actually, I keep mentioning that. Let's welcome the lovely lady herself. Morning, Corinne.
Good morning. Isn't it fantastic to be here today? I'm so glad we're here together.
Oh, it's so
really
nice,
good.
isn't it?
Yes.
I love it actually, because we don't very often get a chance to work together.
We don't.
It's quite great now that on a weekend that we're going to be able to do that, which is fabulous. Now, before we get over to Corinne to show us exactly what sort of techniques she's got based, I want to show you what we've got on the show today. Now, everything that we're showing you, you can go over to our website. You know where it is, Crafters Companion, and you'll be able to find anything you want, anything that tickles your fancy. It's all there for you to look at. We've got the shop the show button, so you can just shop the actual full day, including the Colour Me Happy, which is fabulous. The first thing I want to show you though is our tri-blend pens. Now, the tri-blend pens are our 3 pen blends. I'm not going to tell you much more about them. Anybody that's new to us, these are probably our most simplest of pens to use. They're absolutely amazing and you're going to love them. So we're going to show you these in the full action. Now, do you want to see what these pens do? Our tri-blend pens in 2 different sizes. So these ones have our 2 different boxes, but we're going to go across to Corinne and let us see what she has planned for them.
Right, so I am going to show you how to do these gorgeous, gorgeous pens. Now, as Debbie has already said, they are our tri-blend pens. So what they've got is they have got 3 barrels in here, one between each of the inks. And what you've got is you've got the same colour, but with different dilutions within them of ink. So in this, we've got Citrus Blend, which we've called CT. So we've got CT1, CT2 and CT3. So if I was just to show you on a bit of scrap paper here, the colour gets stronger as you go, and you can see straight away, can you see that's significantly darker than there? If I turn that round, and we've got darker still. So they're all the same shade, but they're just different tones within there. So I have just straight away, I've used my Nina card. Now, we're not going to do too much about the cardstock on here, but Nina card is our card we produce specifically for our alcohol pens. And I've stamped it with our gorgeous Brighten My Day stamp. And I've just stamped on there, and I've just used a little mask over here, over the top on there, just to mask it so that I can create this little arrangement like that. Now, I've got a piece of cardstock underneath my Nina card, which is really important because that's going to catch any ink so that it doesn't splay out onto my mat. And I'm just going to do some colouring. So let's start with a green. I've got my yellow-green blend, and what I can do here is, if you look, let me just turn it around there, you can see YG 1, 2 and 3. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come all over and I'm just going to put down my first layer of colour, and I tend to colour all over with this one first. So I'm just doing my first blend on here. So this is just like a smooth blend, just to saturate my card and just make sure that the ink goes all the way, all over there, and I'm just going right up to the line. I don't need to worry about it running and bleeding. It's not going to travel anywhere like that. And when I do that on there, you can see it looks wet and then it starts to evaporate. And if I turn it over, you can see it's starting to show on the back, and that's absolutely fine. And then I just have to think, where are the light and dark bits of here? So I'm just going to come round here and I'm just going to do little strokes here, and I'm just going to come down the centre of here. So I'm going to take this out. You often need to come further than you think, so I'm just going to come round there. I've actually just gone over the line, and I'm just going to show you a tip in a minute how to get rid of There's a couple of different ways, but how to cover up that, don't worry about it. So I've come out of the bit there, and you can see straight away it's starting to look dark shaped. Now I've got my 3, so I'm just going to do the smallest of lines. Now, when you first do it, it looks a bit strange because we've got the line. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to come up here, just drag it out a little bit. There we go. Now, it's not very blended at the moment, but what you can then do is go back with number 2 and then just blend up to that. So don't go over it because you'll bleach it out. Just come up to the edge and just blend that colour, and you can see it blending. Now, the purpose of the card behind is to catch any excess ink, so don't worry about going too hard. So I'm then going to come back in with my paler colour, and I'm just going to blend up to there, and I can just take it right round, just up to that colour, and straight away it's blended like that. There we go. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Now I can do very similar with my flower. So I'm going to come in with my yellow, and I'm just going to colour all over. I'm going to actually come in straight in here with my darker colour in the centre. I'm going to do this slightly different. So we're just coming in here, then I'll work my way out, and I'm just going to do it in the simplest of terms. Don't worry, it's a work in progress. Sometimes you think, where's she going with this? But do not worry, it's the finished result. And then we just come, oh, that was my darker one, I wanted my paler one. I can go over that and bleach it out a little. There we go, let's go with the paler one. There we go, round, just there. Right, so I've taken that, and then I'm going to come in with my pale pink. So I love this one. So what I can then do is very similar to what we did before, and I'm just going to go all over with my pale pink, just like that, and then I'm going to go right up to that yellow, and then we'll blend it in a minute. So once I've put this onto here, I then need to think of where my light and dark is. So if I look at this petal, it tucks under, can you see this petal's on top? So all I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to take a paler, the next colour up, and I'm just going to come round there, and I'm just going to start with my darker shades coming out of here, because it's going to be in shadow, isn't it? And then I come up from the centre, just like that, and then I'm going to get my darker colour. Just take a minute to make sure I've turned the pen round. And can you see this is our 3 colour blend, so it's absolutely perfect for blending out. So back to my middle one, just to blend it out, just to there, and then my palest one all the way. There we go. And can you see straight away we've got light and shade. Once you've finished that, we can carry on going. But what I've then done is I've got my IG, my light grey. And can you remember I was saying, let me just pop a little bit down here just to show you. I just want to just colour that stalk. Once you've done that, what you can do to really make it pop is I'm going to go in with my lightest grey, and I'm just going to go round the edge. And that actually, look, can you see that one where I went over the edge? Just taking it out, you can't see it now. Just all the way around. You don't have to do this, but this is just a technique we sometimes like to do, especially when you're doing things like flowers and you want something to pop. Just come right round. And what you have to remember is alcohol pens fade as they dry. So that line will become lighter. But can you see now how that leaf really stands up? And if you went all the way around, so you can just see how we can just colour with the different blends. And there we go. I'm going to bring that in. I know that's a bit quick, but all I've done is the same technique on here. I've just listed the colours on there, so you can just see I have gone with my yellow, I've blended it, I've blended my pinks, I've got my antique pink here, and I've just edged it all. That is just one. That is the simplest way to do your 3 colour blend. But that's not all you can do with your alcohol pens. We can also do brilliant hair and skin techniques. So let me just change the pens over. There we are. Now I'm going to show you how you can do your hair and your skin. So I've just got my tri-blends here, and what I want to do is I want my fair skin. So I always do my skin before my hair. I don't know why, it just comes natural to me. So I'm going to come in here. I've got my FS6, so it calls it light. So I'm going to come in here. Just remember, as I said, your alcohol pens always dry lighter. So I can come all the way over wherever there's going to be any skin, just there as well. we can do that, just round here, just here. So I'm just, again, laying down my first colour. So all I've done is stamp this with my alcohol-proof ink pad, because then I know I can colour right up to the ink and it's not going to smudge, it's not going to blend or bleed even, or, you know, it's just going to stay exactly where I need it. So Nina Card alcohol-proof ink are absolutely the perfect combination to just lay down that first smooth blend and get her skin. Now her skin looks lovely. This is a beautiful colour. I love this fair skin, but it's a little bit flat, you can see. There is no definition. You know, she's got that gorgeous neck, so why don't we make it look a little bit more sculptured? So I'm going in with my mid-tone, and I'm just thinking, where is the hair? Where is the hair casting a shadow? And where might she have possible muscle definition? So I'm just going to literally come down here, and again, go a little bit further than you think, because we are going to blend this. So where her hair's touching, so we're almost doing a bit like edging it, like you could with the grey. We're just going round, just where her hair's sitting, underneath where her hair is, and I'm just bringing it down. I'm going to come round the edge, just here. Quite a thin one round the edge, just there. You can see I went much deeper there. Follow that round, and then all the way down it. So where her shoulder is, I'm going to bring it down because it's going to be in shadow. So we just want a little bit more definition. Round the edge to there. And just where her dress is just casting a shadow. So her hair here is going to cast a shadow. It's going to be quite dark as her skin just there, and again just here. So that's my mid-tone. I'm going to then turn it around with my darker tone, and I'm just going to go in quite close to the edge of that. I'm not going to come too far down there, just to here, just where I think it really needs a little bit of extra definition, just around the bottom of her hair. And then down here. And then just as we did before, we'll go in with our medium, and I'm just going to blend out that darker tone, just blending it out. And then all I'll do, because at the moment it's a little bit harsh line, so I'm just going to come right up to the edge with my lighter tone and blend it. And what you'll see is the alcohol can sit on the card and then it will evaporate. That's absolutely fine. We're just wanting to blend it in, so you can't see the lines, and you're just going to get the perfect definition. You can leave, if you want to cast shadows, then you could leave, you can see, you could leave a little bit, but that's not going to look right on skin. But you can, so I'm just going to colour that in, blend up to the edges, and then you can see straight away we've got the definition just there. So that's how you do skin, and I would do the rest of her arms and her hands. I mean, there's nothing complicated about it. We're just thinking about light and dark and just adding in those colours. The one that's maybe a little bit more tricky is her hair, but it's not when we break it down. I think there's a lot of fear. So I've just got myself 4 different colours. I've got yellow, gold yellow, burnt orange, earth brown shades, and blend. So if you've got your darker and your lighter in your earth brown. And what you need to do is you just need to break down the hair into bits. Don't try and colour her whole of her hair in one go. So I can see, look, you can see the stamp is giving me the detail. So let's go with my lightest. I'm going to, actually, let's go with the lightest for now. And I'm just going to come in here with my gold yellow. So I'm going to go in first, just in there. So I'm doing one section of her hair at a time, and look at how beautifully these nibs blend. The quality of the nibs is second to none. So then I just need to think again about light and dark, and then I'm just going to do a few strokes coming up. Now I find that I take a while with hair. I'll often come back in and do a little bit more. I'm very rarely finished on the first go. So all I've done is I've brought it down. Now, the reflection of the light is going to do an arc across her hair, so I've left it a little bit lighter. Then I'm going to look for my next colour. I don't want pear skin. Right, so I'm going to go in with my earth brown. Let's go with the lighter ones. And I'm just, if you're unsure, you've got your bit of paper there, just check your colours, and then I can come in and add a little bit more. And I'm just building it up, and it's more a flicking motion with hair than a blend. Let's come in with a little bit darker still. And then, can you see how we're now getting the definition of her hair? But we're always working in the same direction. So we're just trying to bring it in. And that little highlight is getting smaller and smaller, but that's absolutely fine. If I wanted to, I can even come in a little bit darker, just there, where the hair is really clustered together. And just down here, where it's going into the plait, you can just bring it down. And then you just keep going back in and adding in extra little bits, just little highlights, just like that. And then let's just pick another one. So the next one I would probably do, I'm going to do exactly the same. Let's pick another one. Let's just come in just here, just to there. And you can see, and all the time I'm working on top of a piece of card because I'm blending through my cardstock, and that's absolutely fine. So we can then, now I've got the light coming there, so I need to just remember where my light source is and just keep that coming through. So I can just come there. So you can see I've got that arc of light coming through here. I can even add a few different highlights in, so I can come in with the orange tones if I wanted to, just to bring in a little bit more tone. I want the paler of my earth browns first, just on here, just adding in those lovely strokes. And I think I'm going to get a lot more definition here with my darker one. So let's just overlay the darkest one. So you're just building it up, just building up, making sure that where, can you see just down here, where it's all clustered together, it's a little bit darker. So let's just, literally the last bit I'm going to do is just come down to here, just bringing down that lovely little tendril, just all the way down. And you can blend on there, just so that you can, don't see the colour change, but gradually comes down. And that is all you need to do with hair. And when you're finished, I just sat 20 minutes and had a lovely time colouring there. And can you remember when we were saying leave a little bit paler and you get even more definition? You can really see her waist cinching in there, can't you? And the shading on here, and then just the strokes, and you know, the colour, the light is hitting the top of her head. Really isn't complicated, but these are just some of the techniques that you could be making or using with your tri-blend pens.
Wow, how amazing were those techniques. I was purposely not talking in that because, you know, for me, I'm normally demonstrating them myself, and I actually thought, my goodness, you sent me into a colouring coma just watching you. I love watching someone else take on the colouring, and it looks so pretty, isn't it? So much that you can do with them. So absolutely brilliant. So if you want them, head to the website. They'll all be on there. Let's see who's in with us today, because I can see lots of comments coming through. Lots of you joining us this morning. In fact, loads of you. So welcome on this Sunday morning to Colour Me Happy. Kathleen's in saying good morning. We've got Eleanor's in, Linda also good morning. Angela's in, Carol's in. We've got a few questions, so let's have a look. Is there a list of colours? So this is Sandra from on YouTube. Is there a list of all the colours available in alcohol and watercolour pens? I have to tell you, we have colour chart pens, colour charts on the website that you can use your pens to colour in. So yes, head to the website. Spectrum Nor you want, if you go to their website, they'll have them. I'm pretty sure our colour charts are on Crafters Companion as well, so you will find them. We do different ones like this, where you can colour them in your sort of yourself and have all those sort of different colours. We've just put them on both sides of our boards. You've then got Eleanor saying, I was wondering, I had bought the brush tri-blend pens, and what I was wondering, is there another box to get, or is it just the one box? It's just the one box that we've got on that. So yeah. Carol's saying that she loves the Colour Me Happy shows. It's her favourite show. Rachel's saying, I always colour the skin before the hair too. She's never done it any other way, just as Corinne did. Good morning, crafty friends. Ready to colour me happy. I enjoy watching these colour techniques. Just wish I had my markers with me. Whereabouts are you? So that's Wolf, Dark Eyes, Moon, Water on YouTube. That's a cool name. And then we've got Eleanor's asked in as a question again, which is she's got the whole collection of the classics. She keeps them in the big that came with, so I'm assuming the big bag or the big stand, the big bag, I would have thought, the big bag that came with them on the shelves. She's noticed quite a few of them seem to be less ink on one side. She doesn't know how that can be. She always lies them flat. It could just mean they need re-inking. With our classics, you can buy our re-inkers online, so if you've got favourite colours that are running down, just add a few drops of our ink there. So yeah, welcome to Colour Me Happy on this Sunday morning. So check everything out on the website, so you'll find all of our pens and many, many more. And there we go. So that's our tri-blend pens. Now, our next thing we're going to look at is tricolour pens. I have to say, I've only used these once and I was blown away with them. They're absolutely amazing. These have a completely different sort of system to what our tricolour pens do. Our tricolour pens in these ones are alcohol. Arkarin's going to talk you through all those. I'm just going to quickly show you just some of the charts here that you can see the colours that go into each individual ones. But I think you really want to see these in action. So we're going to head across to Corrine, who's going to show us a few different techniques with these gorgeous tricolour pens.
We certainly are. I love these. So when I was asked to do this show, I've got to have the new tricolour pens on. They're a piece of magic. Well, they're not really, but I just love how they work. So how these work, they're different to our normal tri-blends, in so much that the tri-blends are 3 different shades of a certain colour tone. Now, these are 3 different colours. They're completely different colours that you've got in here. So if we look on this one, which is our Azure Horizon, let me bring that up there, Azure Horizon. We've got Periwinkle, we've got Sky Blue, and we've got Ocean Mist. They still fit in our colour families like TB2, IB1 and BT5. So you can still find these colours in our tri-blends. But what our lovely Leanne has done is she's found 3 colours that work together. Now, if I lay these down on my scrap card here, you'll see that they're different colours. So I've got my Ocean Mist, which is a lovely pale blue. Then I can come through to my Periwinkle, which again, straight away, a bit darker. And then I've got my, where are we? We've done that one. Ocean Mist. Oh, that was Sky Blue. Sorry, this is Periwinkle. And you can see they're very different blues. Some of the pens are completely different. If I look at this one, this is Moonlight, followed by Honey. You can see we've gone from yellow to orange to a coral colour. And you think, how are they going to blend? I put them separately on purpose, but they really do, so long as you use the right cardstock. So again, I've used my Nina cardstock. And this time I've just used my Dreams Take Flight, some gorgeous butterflies, and I've stamped them with my alcohol-proof ink pad. It's got its name on the tin, you know exactly what it's going to do. And then I can colour them. So I'm starting with my Azure Horizon, and I'm just coming in here and I'm just colouring little bits of this in here. So if I just take the first bit in here with my first pen, I can come out of the edge just there. And then I take my next colour, which is my Sky Blue, and I just run it up next to it. And when you then come back in with my first, get it the right way around, my first colour, and blend it back over, can you see I've lost the join. The way they blend together is really clever. So if I then come in with my Periwinkle and take this and then just blend it up there, you can see it doesn't bleach it out, it just smoothly blends in. So if I take a bit of a bigger colour, so if I go with let's go with our Forest Glade, let's do a bigger area. So let's come in from the edge, let's go dark, from the light to dark. So I come in with my palest colour, or the first colour I want to use, just dragging it in. And again, like I said, I'm using my Nina card because the way the fibres are is it allows the ink to travel down the fibres and allows them to blend. I'm coming in then with Celery. There we go. We can see. And straight away, you run it up next to it and somehow it just blends perfectly. I'll then come in with my mint tea and bring it down to here, and then you can see that colour. So all I'm going to do is just run my celery back over there, and the blend has gone. It just blends like magic. Now those are using colours that are very similar. I showed you here with our Golden Sunrise, which is one of my favourites. So let's just put it onto here. I'm going to actually turn it around just because I'm right-handed and find that the easy. Oh, I'll do it that way round. Yeah, we'll go there. So I'm going to come in with my palest colour, which is my Moonlight, and I'll come down here first. They are alcohol pens, so just the same as with any of your alcohol pens, remember the ink is going to fade as it dries. Then I'm coming in next with my Honey, bringing that down just there. Yes, I can see the colour difference, so I'll just come back in and run it back up over. You see straight away, it's just blended one into the other. All of a sudden, it's suddenly darker, isn't it? So I'll then come in with my darkest one, which is my Salmon, which I love this colour. Absolutely beautiful. Just dragging that up, back in with the Honey, run it over the top, and look at the way that blends. There's no bleaching. The colours just naturally blend one on top of the other. Don't be afraid to keep laying down colour, because the more you do, the wetter, it's almost like the wetter your card gets, the more the colours are going to blend together. Absolutely perfect. I often just run over again just to get that intensity of colour that I want. But I know that every time they will blend. So these are just, you can see 3 different colours, and look at how perfectly those have blended in. So I'm going to show you one that I've completely finished colouring. And look at this, just look at how the colours have blended. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Now,
absolutely amazing. I love that. But we are going to go straight back to Corrine, because she has got some other things to show us as well.
Okay, so what I wanted to show you was we can colour with our alcohol pens. Let me find my other one that I really want. I want my Warm and Fiery. Where is my Warm and Fiery? Right, now this is 3. Can you see the different colours on here? Aren't they absolutely beautiful? Orange to the sort of tangerine through to the light pink. Now, you can lay down your colours, and alcohol colours look lovely, but I wanted to show you a few different techniques. Now, what I've done is I've actually heat embossed this stamped image. So it's exactly the same stamped image as we had last time, but I've used my opaque, my pigment ink, and I've put my embossing powder over it and heat set it. And you'll see why, because I'm going to come in with some water in a minute in the form of my sparkle pen. So I'm just going to colour it. It's still Nina card. So I'm just going to colour exactly as I did before. We'll just do this wing up the top here. Look how rich this colour is, isn't it? And they're fabulous brush nibs. Absolutely, the quality of the nibs is second to none. They are beautiful and just allow you to colour and blend so well. I'm coming in with my tangerine type colour, which is officially called Satsuma. There you go, that wasn't a bad guess, was it? Satsuma, tangerine. You say tomato, I say tomato, you know, it's all like that. And then I'm going to come in with my fuchsia. One of my favourite flowers are fuchsias.
I never tire of watching this.
Don't you?
It's quite breathtaking to think how something can be blended so amazingly well without seeing where one colour starts and one colour ends. It's amazing.
It really is, isn't it? And I think the key is to not be afraid to just keep laying down your colour, because I find with alcohol pens, the more you saturate the card, the better it blends. I don't know if you agree with that. You need to just not be afraid to go in. Now, yeah, I had a bit of a colour change on there, but then I can blend those out. Now, this is what I was showing you in my previous technique. So you can see, absolutely gorgeous. But look at that, doesn't that blend beautifully? But if you want to take that to the next level, I've now got my sparkle overlay pen. Absolutely fantastic. So this is water-based, and this is why I have heat embossed it. Because if I use my alcohol proof, the minute I come in with my sparkle pen, it will smudge, because I'm adding water. So all I can then do is lay that down on top, and look at this, I've now taken my alcohol pens to the next level. It's not going to, that colour isn't going to move, but look at that. Think of your fairy wings, think of your butterfly wings, all of your gorgeous enchanted images, and now look at that. Now, that's quite nice, that's rich and vivid, but you might want something a little bit softer. So what I want to do, exactly the same pen, I'm going to take my pen and I'm actually going to, I just need a piece of tissue, let me grab my tissue. I'm actually going to lift the colour with my sparkle pen, and I'm going to colour direct to here. So can you see, it's a lot paler, but I'm now colouring with a sparkle pen. So then I'm going to, what I would say at the end is just colour for a few minutes to make sure there's no sparkle left on your brush. Otherwise, the next person that gets it is going to be calling me all the names under the sun, because they're going to come to colour and they're going to have sparkle on their pen. So you can see I'm just lifting off that colour, just blending it through there. There we go, just lift that all the way through there, and again it's just going to blend. If I need to go back, I'll go back in with the other colour in a minute, and then I can do the same with the other one. Now it's a lot paler than the intense one at the top, but it's just, let me just get some sparkle coming back. There we go, pick that up, and then can you see, just, it's much paler, but it still blends. I'm just going to come in with the darkest one, just on here, just to blend. There you go, can you see, we're just blending it in. So that will still blend absolutely perfectly, and I'll show you. This is the one that I coloured incomplete. So look at that, let me put that down, there you go. You can see, look at the sparkle, different intensities, but these are your tri-colour pens. They are absolutely amazing pens to work with.
Wow. Amazing. I was just sorting out some samples there because they are amazing. On top of what Corrine's just shown us, I just want to show some really beautiful samples that have been coloured using these pens. These are truly remarkable because they are a little bit different to how we have used alcohol pens in the past. We've always told you to stick to that same colour family, but by being able to create subtle colouring really, but also very vibrant. I mean, look at the shading that we've got coming down on that seahorse, absolutely amazing. And then showing this one, we can see we've got the pinks and the purples running through there. You wouldn't think those colours you could blend together. Absolutely incredible. Just really gorgeous designs that you can do with these. And like Corrine's just shown us, how easy are, because we've got that beautiful brush nib. These are just spectacular, absolutely amazing. Let's just show one more there. And I'm just going to bring that board back in as well. So if I bring this back in, this shows you all the colours that you get in that range, which is amazing. And remember, you can head across to our website and you'll be able to find all the pens across there, what we do, which are amazing. Now, remember, we are fully interactive. So if you want to ask any questions or get your comments in, please do, because we're with you all day. So let's have a look what we've got. Oh, we've got loads of comments coming through. Jamie saying, I like a Sunday morning. Watching Colour Me Happy is my favourite hobby. I love that. Very nice. Kathleen is saying she can't wait for these to come from birthday week. So hopefully they'll be in the post to you. Now, fingers crossed for you. I have everything crossed for this week. Debbie, have you been to the hairdressers? You look lovely. No, I just put the hair in a curling wrap last night. Me and Corrine were sat in the house last night and we put all our hairs in these curling wraps that we have. So, and had a girly night with our curls. Lorna's saying, I love these tri-blush markers. They make it look so easy. Wolf Dark Eyes is saying, as there are times to buy glues because extreme temperatures can damage the glues, does the concept apply with certain markers and pens? So if so, which one is the best one to get. I think you're talking about the pens, if the heat affects the pens. I think the temperatures, you need to store them in a cool, dry place. Otherwise, don't store them in the heat or over a radiator. That could dry up the ink, couldn't it? And Betty's saying, a great tip about picking up the colour of the sparkle pen. Absolutely. And Jill is saying, oh, I haven't seen the picking of the colour with the alcohol pen before, with the sparkle pen. Great tip. And Sandra's saying, could you scribble the colour onto the glass mat and pick up the sparkle? So I'm going to throw that over to you, Corinne. So could you scribble the colour onto a glass mat and pick it up with the sparkle pen from there, so then you're not contaminating the alcohol pen?
Yes, but it is even paler. Now, first time I tried it, I wasn't thinking, I scribbled onto acetate, and that didn't work because basically all I did was colour the acetate, because we know that you can colour gems and brads and ribbons and acetate with your alcohol pens. So basically it was like colouring a piece of acetate, and I couldn't lift anything off. But you could lay down the colour on your glass mat, but just remember that it will be even paler. I just found I got even a little bit more of an intense colour by picking the colour up direct. But yes, you could, but just don't put it down onto something where the colour will set straight away. So your glass mat probably is the only other surface you could use.
Great tip. We're going to be looking at Aqua markers next. These amazing pens. So Corinne is going to show us exactly what types of techniques that you can do with these pens. Corinne, what's the difference between watercolour markers, these Aqua markers, and the alcohol markers?
I think you said that. Basically, the ink inside here is a watercolour ink. So it's not an alcohol ink. It is just like your watercolour paints, but in a pen format. It is, you know, so easy to use. Let me just grab another piece of paper to work onto here, which I forgot to do. Right, so we've got another piece of paper here. So I have stamped an image. So I've just stamped my wonderful friend image here using waterproof ink this time. Now, if you did it with an alcohol-proof ink, as soon as you went in with your watercolour pens, it would smudge. So I've done it this way, like that. Now, what you can see here is you've got your pen. Now, if I just colour onto here, this is your watercolour ink. Now, I can't lift it off there because it will have painted on there. But what I can do is I could colour straight onto my cardstock, and I probably would here for the centre of my flowers, just like that. But to do the colouring elsewhere, I wouldn't. So if I've got a scrap of alcohol, watercolour paper, if I was to try to colour onto here, and then straight onto there, and then try to blend, you can see it's harder to blend. I can do it, but I can always see the colour underneath the original bit. So what I want to do here is I'm going to lay down some colour. Let's go down with my red pen first. So I'm going to lay down some colour, and I'm going to lay it down onto my glass mat. Again, you could use a sheet of acetate if you wanted to, but I'm going to use my glass mat, and then I'm going to come in with my rose red as well. Now, you've got two different nibs in this. You've got your brush nib and you've got your detailed nib. Now, when you close them up, I'll just show you this one closed. You always know which is your brush end because the fine detail's got the little white band on. So you can open up your pen to the right end straight away because you've got the you can see. So I'm just laying down some colour. You probably will go back in and lay down colour a few times because you always end up using more than you think you're going to use. So I've got a brush, and I'm just going to put some water onto my mat, and then I'm going to just make sure my brush is nice and clean. One big tip is you will always keep a piece of tissue to clean your nib, but also maybe to hold. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of water, pick up a little bit of my ink, so it's my watercolour ink, and then I'm just going to blend this out. Now, if you are new to colouring, a lot of people believe that watercolour colouring is the easiest way to start because it's a lot more forgiving. It really is quite a simple way to colour. So I'm just going to come on here. I haven't dried my ink to begin with between the two colours. So you can see at the moment I've got two different colours laid down there. I keep cleaning my brush and drying my brush off. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit here, and then I'm just going to blend the one colour into the other. So you can just see we're just adding a little bit of water. Now this, you can see how much ink I've put there. It's going to last me a long, long time. I can probably colour all of these flowers in. Just missed a little bit there, there we go. But look at that. I can even, if I pick up a bit without much water, I could then come in and add even more intensity. And can you see where the cardstock is already wet, that colour will flood and will flow. There you go. So you can see we're just blending in those colours. Lovely. So you can just keep blending. Let's just do another petal. Yes, another petal. It is a petal. So we can come on here. So we're just doing the same thoughts as you would do with your alcohol pens. So we're thinking, where's my lighter? Where's my darker? So I can think, this is going to come out darker just, oops, that's a bit too much water, just blot it off. I didn't dry my brush enough. I can just come where I want it to be darker. So this petal needs to be a little bit darker because it's sitting underneath. There we go, so I've got that mid-tone just to make that one look darker because it's behind, isn't it? So then I'm going to pick up the purple and I'm just going to just do the same across just there. Honestly, watercolour painting is by far and away the most forgiving and the easiest way to start, and don't be frightened. You see, at no point, apart from doing the yellow centre, have I actually put my pen to my paper. I've put my pen to my mat and then I'm transferring it that way. And again, we'd do exactly the same with the buds. Just pick up a bit of the water, the coloured ink with your water, and then pop it on here. And then we can just come down here. There we go. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? And when you've finished, trim it down, and this is where you're going to go. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? But that's only the first technique with our Aqua pens.
Wow. I think that is so beautiful, and in fact, while I was watching that, it was reminding me of the alcohol tri-blend pens. You can do that with better with your watercolours because they blend so well together. So actually, where the tricolours, we've picked those pens to go all three colours. With watercolours, you can pretty much use all sorts of colours and they're going to blend beautifully. And Corrine's right, they're so forgiving, aren't they? Which is amazing. But you have lots more techniques to show us.
I certainly do. Right, I'm going to do another technique, and I'm going to use a stamp, and I'm not going to stamp with my waterproof ink yet. I will in a minute, but I'm going to colour with my pens. So I have got my bud green, and I'm just going to colour straight onto my stamp. I love this technique. This is me getting arty. These are the sorts of images that I love to do, and then when you've finished, you've got to find somebody in the house to show them to. You've got to go running around the house and say, look what I've done, isn't this fantastic? I did that all on my own, isn't it? Aren't I clever? So I'm going in with a green. I might add a little bit of a different green just to add a little bit of dimension. Then I'm going to come in same colours. I'm going to come in with my scarlet, and I'm just going to pop this on here. You can see there is no right or wrong way with this. We can pop this one on here, just on here. Very I don't want to say rough and ready, but very just pop it on and let the colour do it itself. I'm going to still come in with my yellow in the centre here.
Very artistic. It is.
You've got total freedom, haven't you? You don't have to worry. The only thing you need to do is make sure the whole of the stamp's covered, because it will be difficult to go back in afterwards. So that is the only sort of rule, is make sure you've not missed any of the stamp off. There we go. So we can pop this on here, and I'm just going to dab a little bit of my purple on. Just dab a little bit on, just on here. There we go. We're just going to come around the edges. There we are. Right. Now, I have stamped onto there, and I have got some watercolour cardstock. Now, the most important bit is I need to make sure that ink is wet and activated. So I'm just going to blow on it or breathe on it, huff on it, I think, as Arleanne says.
Very technical, the huffing.
Yeah, the huffing So that's nice and wet. And then I'm going to pop that, and I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. Rocker block is brilliant for this. Can you see the ink just transferring from the stamp using my rocker block? And there we go. Wow. So that is just the start. I can then come in with my paintbrush. I'm just going to grab a nice new piece of kitchen roll. I don't need to pick up any more ink. I can then just come in here and reactivate the ink that's on the cardstock. Can you see? All I'm doing is, it's almost like when you have those paint books as a child and you just use water to activate it. If you want it a lot stronger, obviously you could pick up a bit more ink, but we can just come in and just colour it all over. I am actually going to get a little bit more ink, I think. Let's just put a little bit on there. If I want to pick it up, wet it, pick it up, and then I can add in a little bit more. But basically, I'm just dragging it out. Now, if you've missed any bits, this is your opportunity just to go in and fill them in. So we can then come in. Let's do I'm going to just go with a slightly bigger brush for the centre just here. And then just pick up the water, make sure my brush is clean, and then just reactivate that ink on there. There we go. Doesn't that look beautiful? And like I say, if you need more ink, then just pick up a little bit with your brush. But look at that. You can see how that is really going, and I want to just blend that out. Now, this isn't going to be finished, so the other thing you can do, as well as reactivating with your brush, is you can reactivate it with a spritz bottle. So I've got my Spectrum Noir spritz, and I can then almost make it run. I'm going to give it an artistic run. So we can pop this on here, so I can just spritz on there. And can you see, can you see that? It's starting to, there we go, starting to blur. And it will make sense why I've done that in a minute. So isn't that lovely? Now, I want that to stop running. So I can dab it a little bit, and then I'm going to come in with my heat gun, and I'm just going to dry that off. If you don't dry it off, it will carry on running. I've got it as far as I want it to go, so I'm just going to dry that off. Let's put some heat on here. And that's key for what I'm going to do in a minute. Now, it looks a little, look at that. It also straightens out your card when you dry it off. So we can dry that off just there. If you've got any bits that are very damp, just blot them with your kitchen roll or paper towel, whichever you're wanting to do. Let's see, nearly dry. Now, I've lost a lot of my image there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my stamp back in. Let's give that a wipe down. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to get my stamping platform this time, and I'm going to take my image and I'm going to pop it onto my stamping platform, and I'm going to just anchor that down. Then I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to lay it directly over the top. There we go. And I'm also going to just grab my sentiment. I've got my wonderful, let's put that there, wonderful friend. No problem doing this all in one go. Let's just go just there. So what we can then do, pick that up, pick it up with my platform, turn it over. Now, key that you use your waterproof ink, because remember we've used quite a lot of water with this technique. We can pop that on. Now, it's up to you. You could use your Noir Black, or you could use the grey, the Flagstone. That also works really well. Lie this back on top. This is why I dried it off. And then I'm going to just go down. Now, if you haven't absolutely met it in the original position, I actually think that looks really nice. So we can then just... Wow. And now that's popped. Isn't that like a gorgeous watercolour design? And then the final bit I would be doing, just to give it a final little bit, is I would pop a couple of my colours down on here. I would get my brush, pick up the colours, nice and wet, and then just splatter the colours on top. And when you've finished, you get that effect. Now, can you imagine that on a card? That is absolutely beautiful. And you're going to say, yeah, I made that.
It's very beautiful. In fact, absolutely amazing. I love that technique. I loved it without stamping on top, but then when you stamp on top of it, it looks incredible.
It does, doesn't it?
So amazing, yes. But so if you want our watercolour pens, again, head across to the website because you'll find everything on there. So much. We do so many different pens and different types of bits that we've got, which is amazing. Right, so we're going to look at some samples. First of all, actually, let me show you some of the colours. So this first one is our primary colours you're getting in the box. These are beautiful, really sort of gorgeous colours that you can mix because they're primary. We've then got our essentials. So they're the ones that are going to create all that light and dark shade. You can mix them together, remember, make your own hues of colours. Then we've got our nature ones, which have got those gorgeous sort of oranges, browns and blues. We've then got our florals, so all those beautiful sort of pinks and purples and the greens and yellows. So lots of different colours there. And I'm just going to show you a few samples of the sorts of things that you can be creating. These are stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning pens, but stunning what you can do with them. Type in anything for tutorials for watercolours. This is similar to what Corrine's just shown us with the stamping of those beautiful designs, but we have got some more to show you. So Corrine, this has been a great Colour Me Happy.
Thank you. Right, I'm just going to show you a very quick watercolour wash background. This is the quickest technique, hopefully, that we've done today. So all I've done is I've heat embossed a sentiment. So this is just from our chalkboard stamps, and I've just stamped it again onto my watercolour cardstock. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my brush, and I've just got a pot of water, and I'm just going to brush all over here because I've got my watercolour cardstock, and it will just start that process of wetting the card and making sure that I'm going to get an even coloured background over there. So it hasn't affected the sentiment at all because it is heat set. And then I've got 4 colours here. So I've got my orange, yellow, verdant green and aquamarine. And I'm just going to lay the colours down. I'm going to give myself quite a bit of colour. And I'm going to go the orange, then I'm going to do the yellow, and then I'm going to come in with the green, and then I'm going to come in with my blue. But you could use any of the colours from the box that you've got. And then I'm going to, always got my picture roll in my hand, I've got my paintbrush, and I'm just going to really wet that down. And you can see my glass mat is the perfect palette. If that much, I've actually added a bit too much water, so I can just add a little bit more pen. Don't need to add any more water. And you can see we've got our colour wash background. Now, the more you keep adding the colour, the more it will work. Now, I'm never adding the colour direct to the card. If I add the colour direct to the card, it's going to make quite a splosh, and I'm not going to be able to blend it. I'm going to come in with the yellow. I'm going to put a lot less water on this, and we can see. And look, as we run up to the 2, they blend perfectly. You actually need more ink than you actually give yourself credit for, but that's fine. Look at that. So we can then come up here, and then if I come back in with the orange, I can blend the 2 colours together, cleaning my brush off in between, not adding a lot of water. Then I'm coming in with my green, just like that, and then I'm coming in with my blue. How beautiful is this? And this is all from your pens. We're not carrying around loads of different paints or anything like that. We're doing it all from our gorgeous, gorgeous pens. Now, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a blast dry. Your heat gun is your best friend when you're doing this. Let me just blend that one out a little bit more. Let's pick up. There we go. Pick up that. So you can keep laying down colour. So I'm just laying down the first colour. You can go in and make it a bit darker if you wanted to. Just keep adding that intensity. I'm just going to dry it off a little bit. I'm not going to get this perfectly dry because I've wet the card and it's quite wet, but it's absolutely fine. If you've got a bit of curl, just turn your paper over and dry it from the back, and it will flatten out lovely. So once I've got that just got the, because what I don't want is I don't want the colours to run too much. I'm just trying to stop them. So once you put the heat gun on, all you're doing is just stopping them from moving any further. Let's turn that off. And then I'm just going to lay down my colours again. Yellow, orange, green, I've got a bit there, and blue. And then we're just going to do a little bit of, pick up the colours, and we're just going to, now, oh, let me just put that, I'm going to put a piece of kitchen roll just there. I nearly forgot that bit. Pick up that, and then I'm going to just dot that colour around. And we need a little bit more than that, don't we? Just pop that on there, pick this up. So all I'm doing, the kitchen roll is just stopping the colours from intermingling. Then we can pick up the yellow, so I'll just grab that and I'm going to pop that one just down there. We don't need any fancy tools, we're just going to do that, and then a little bit more water just so I can pick it up and flick, and you can see just adding in the colour bits. We're going to move across to the green, dry that down, pick that, I need to just dampen that down. There, there we go, look at that, you can see that. And we don't need to go over top with it. And then finally with my blue, and then you can add that on there. And now look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? And if you just keep going in with your colours till you get the intensity that you want. I've just gone round here with my ink pad, the same one that I've used to do that, to give it a lovely edge. Edge it on your white, onto your coloured cardstock. Doesn't that look perfect?
Absolutely perfect. The perfect sentiment for that as well, which is amazing. You're loving, everybody is loving what you're doing today, which is incredible. Lorna's saying that she loves the watercolours. Carol's saying that she loves the watercolour markers and pencils. She uses them all the time. Joanne is saying, oh wow, I never thought to colour onto the stamp. Yeah, great technique, that one. Joanne is saying, oh wow, she's trying that today. Sandra's saying, this is absolutely fabulous. I think I may be using this technique for some home decor pieces, which is amazing. And Linda saying, I learned so much from CTV. This hour has gone so quickly. You are right. How are we at the end of an hour? Gorgeous background. This is saying Carol, and she says, thank you very much, Corinne. And also someone has asked, I'm going to bring it in, whether our craft along is an hour long. No, we're still giving you the 2-hour craft along. And this is the gorgeous, I mean, this is so beautiful. Absolutely lovely. So if you come back at 2 o'clock, no, 1 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
It is 2 o'clock, got it right. Why did I question myself? Corinne's going to be making this beautiful box with this gorgeous card, which is absolutely amazing. So yes, so join us back at 2 o'clock for some fabulous craft along fun. And can I just say, while we're talking about the craft along, thank you so much for all of you voting. We've won lots of awards across the board, but craft along something we're really proud of here at Crafters TV. And we have 2 people crafting along today. So we've got Sam McDonald, hi Sam, and we've got Beth Judd, which is both of them, Bev, I said Beth, Bev, from Wales, lovely, crafting along with us today. So it's going to be a really fun couple of hours, and we're going to say thank you to Corinne.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
And we will see you back here at 2 o'clock. Join us then.